Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I am uploading this video after a very long time. I haven't really made any videos lately, and I do plan to come back to YouTube with this, maybe make some videos on my daily projects and stuff like that. And sometimes I also run into trouble, like most of you probably do if you're working with electronics. And so today I wanted to test this DC to DC buck converter on one of my custom PCBs, and well, here I am turning on my electronic DC load, and I just noticed that the front panel has suddenly stopped working. Now none of these buttons seem to work and nothing happens to this Tenma programmable electronic DC load, and even though none of these buttons work, the rotary encoder actually works, and I can also see that some digits are they actually look dimmer than the rest of them. So I think that something is up with the front panel, but I'm not quite sure because the rotary encoder is actually working. So the buzzer is also working, which is on the front panel itself. I took a look back there, I opened the top cover off, and that's what I found. So we're going to have to try and troubleshoot this. I am going to see what I find once I dig down into this thing. And by the way, you can still see that some digits are also missing. For example, this it says 14, 15 and 16, but the middle line is missing. So something is clearly wrong with the front panel, and maybe we can take a look and try and fix it. So first things first, I am going to take this ribbon cable out that actually connects to the front panel, and this might have something to do with it. So I'm going to check the contacts and see if there's some rust on it, or maybe something's wrong in that way. But other than that, I'm going to take off these side screws and take the front panel out, and let's see what we have there. So I took out the front panel PCB, and this seems to be the connections for the front LED panel and indicators and stuff like that. I'm going to take these screws off and see what happens, because this button also seems depressed, abnormally depressed, and this wouldn't click like this one does. So the logic board from the front panel is out, and this seems like an EC11 encoder here, which works pretty well. And so there is no smart MCU or anything happening over here. It's just these shift registers that are driving all the LEDs, and probably also accepting the inputs are probably being accepted by using resistor divider networks or something like that. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. So I think the reason for this thing not being that bright is the shift registers. It could be that, or it could just be a broken solder joint. So one of the good things here is that the keypad surface here is coated with gold, so tarnishing of these should not be an issue with the keypad. It has to be something that has to do with the connector itself, I think. So I'm going to clean this connector up, which actually runs through to the main logic board, and then after that I think we should see a change. Oh, and by the way, I was able to place the front panel buttons properly, because this wasn't placed properly. Like I showed you before, one of them was not clicking very well, and it seems like this surface was actually stuck on top of this tab. So that could also be the reason for everything not working, because the PCB was not seated properly. So I'm going to fix it, clean everything up, and put it back together to see if that makes a difference. So I was about to put everything back together, and I just noticed that there's this little speck of metal in here, and that looks like a broken solder joint or something like that. You can probably not see it if you're looking at a very low quality, but well, that worries me, because now I'll have to take the microscope out, and I'm going to have to check everything that there is on this board, because it seems like one of the discrete component joints on this side is probably not doing all right. So I'm going to have to take a look at that, and it could be one of them that's causing the problem. It might be that. Well, so I cleaned everything up, and I also fixed these two buttons because one of them was stuck, and It seems like this might work now, because if that button was stuck, maybe it was preventing the scan system from scanning the rest of the buttons. That is entirely possible, and that could be the cause of whatever is wrong with it. So let's plug this in. I'm not going to screw this on to the main unit right now, but I'm going to see if plugging this on and then turning everything back up makes it work. I hope it does. I don't have time for spending hours on this thing, because I have a pending project and I really need to get this running to test my DC to DC converter. So let's turn this on and see if that made any difference. Well, this thing is still dark, and the buttons still do not work. Even if I press them pretty hard, it still doesn't work. The rotary encoder still works, and this segment is still missing. Now it might be that the LED blew up, but then I think you can see that the set LED actually is flickering a little bit. Yeah, I think this is being captured in video as well. It is really flickering. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's going to be a quick fix. I'm still going to check that the ribbon cable is alright, but other than that, I don't think I know what's wrong with it. So that's the status at this point, and if you guys think you have any idea what could go wrong with this, if you have seen something like this happen to one of the instrumentation panels before, then make sure that you drop some suggestions down in the comment box below. And until then, I'm going to try some deeper troubleshooting procedures. I just took very casual look at the details, so I'm not sure what exactly is wrong with this. If you have any ideas, make sure you drop them down below. I'll greatly appreciate that. And subscribe if you're seeing this, you're not a subscriber, because I'm going to upload another part of this once I get this solved. So yeah, and if you think I can make some other content, then make sure you also suggest that to me, because I returned to YouTube after a very long time, and I plan to upload some regular videos, something that has to do with electronics and other stuff in general. So if you have any suggestions, again, you're most welcome. I'll see you in the next video.